Well, we're here to do another bedtime comics with a redneck. Things will be a little different with this one. Trying something new. Instead of doing a single issue review, I will be doing a full book review. You'll have to leave in the comments if you prefer the single issue reviews or the book reviews. Uh, There will probably still be some single issue reviews that I do from time to time, especially if they're like newer ones. But for the meantime, I think most of it's going to be book reviews. But it will mean that they will, there won't be as many videos. So if y'all like videos, let me know and we'll do the single ones. If you'd rather have a couple of videos and just have an entire story at once, let me know that. So today we are doing my review of Absolute Infinite Crisis. If you don't know, it is a direct sequel basically to Crisis on Infinite Earths, which, if I'm not mistaken, was the first crossover, I think, or event. I think the first event for most comics in general, I think. Uh, it was a huge event. I hadn't. I just recently read it about a year ago, and I put off reading it. You know how I am about the older stuff, but don't put it off. That was one of the best DC stories I've ever read. The story blew most of the modern stuff out of the water, and it set the stage for all the modern stuff. So that is essential reading. Comes with a nice little slipcase. In case you missed the video, it's a nice thick slipcase. I picked it up at Ollie's Bargains. Ollie's Bargain Outlet, I think it's called. Picked it up for $24.99. It's a $100 book. My local Ollie's. One of them, I picked up the last copy. The other Ollies, they had like 4 when I was up there the other day. But that was earlier this week. I'm sure they're gone by now. So if you have a local Ollie's and you're interested in these big giant absolute books, these are big books. Go ahead and pick one up at $24.99. You could resell it and make your money back on it if you didn't like it. So, who is this character? We'll get more into that as we get into it. There's a lot to digest with this story because there's a lot of things that lead into this story. This is kind of like the end game for a lot of story points they had going at the time. So it starts Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are basically fractured. The core of the Justice League is done. They don't trust each other. Wonder Woman has just murdered Maxwell Lord on live television and is set in motion where people don't trust superheroes anymore. So Batman, of course, Batman being Batman, Batman has created something called Brother Eye. And Brother Eye's whole job I don't know how to sum it up any different, but to infect a handful of people, to give them superhero abilities to fight back if the Justice League or whatever went bad. Uh, that's my understanding of it. So it's Batman, classic Batman, plan for anything and everything to go evil. So you got the Omax situation has gotten out of hand, where you've got millions of people infected with the OMAC virus now, and they're just going around just trying to wipe out all the heroes. So Batman's arguing with Brother Eye about why are you doing this, and Brother Eye is like, well, you programmed me to do this. I'm just taking it a step further and taking care of all the heroes in advance before they go bad. Well, you got Superboy, who you may or may not know. He's been on Teen Titans for a while in this time period. He he's having an identity crisis of he doesn't want to be Superboy. The world needs Superboy, but he's kind of sitting back letting it play through. He's not all that interested. You've got all your major players, Supergirl, the Teen Titans. You got people I've never even heard of before. Uh, you've got a little bit of everything going on. Like, this is a big, big event. There's a lot to take in, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be skipping over. But I also don't want to give you everything. I want you to be able to have and read and take away some stuff new to you. So you may basically have mayhem in the streets as the Omacs are running wild. The Green Lanterns are trying to deal with some kind of crisis in space. I mean, just everything is out of hand. The Spectre, he doesn't have a host body right now, so it's making him go crazy. So you got all these, I think they're called the Freedom Fighters. They go up against some villains, and they get, and when I say villains, some of them's major villains. Sinestro, Bizarro, Shazam, Cheetah. I mean, you're dealing with Deathstroke. You're dealing with high level villains. Uh, while Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman are having their debate about what to do about the Justice League, Mongrel attacks. And then you've got, at the same time, you got the Freedom Fighters being attacked, and they're just being killed off. It's just, once you get to the action, it's just action after action after action. You got people being killed. I mean, you've got trust being splintered. So, I mean, they finally take Mongrel down. The Freedom Fighters basically all get just about killed. Wonder Woman goes in to kill Mongrel, and Superman stops him, and then she's like, well, I wasn't going to kill him anyway. So, I mean, it's just, they get in, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman getting this big moral discussion. And basically, they tell Wonder Woman they don't trust her no more, and they don't want her around. And then Superman and Batman start fighting over each other. And Batman pretty much cuts the conversation short by telling him, when's the last time you inspired anybody? The last time you inspired anybody was when you was dead. So yeah, that was a mic drop, and that was the splintering of the Justice League. So, who is this guy here? There's somebody whispering in this guy's ear, and you find out this guy is the Superman from Earth 2. You've got the Lex Luthor, the Superboy, Power Girl, Lois Lane. All these are Earth 2 people, which shouldn't exist anymore because the Crisis on Infinite Earths resolved by they defeated the Anti-Monitor and it destroyed all the alternate worlds. There was only one superhero world. So somehow Superman of Earth 2 and that small handful of people were the only ones that survived the alternate universe stuff. Then you get into uh, Booster Gold finding out that Ted Cord, the Blue Beetle, is going to be attacked. You've got more just ongoing destruction of the supervillains just running wild. Uh, Superman isn't quite set in his mind. Like he still wants to be Superman, but all this is tearing him in a weird location. You got our universe's Lex Luthor watching his cell phone TV, putting all these plans into motion, and you find out it's Luthor's not the one calling the shots on TV. It's Luthor's trying to figure out who this false Luthor is on TV in his place. You know, Superman of Earth 2's explaining all this stuff to Power Girl about how they have to go in and take their Earth back and eliminate Earth 1 so Earth 2 can come to be about again, and it will completely do away with all the Earth 1 heroes. They will disappear. All the civilians will disappear. Earth 2 will come back, and Earth 1 will disappear. Or, yeah. So, he's trying to convince Supergirl that their world was better than the world they left because they sacrificed Earth 2 so Earth 1 could survive. And he's like, we sacrificed for them. And what they do, everything they've done has just been one bad thing after another. The Superman getting killed by Doomsday, Jason Todd being killed by the Joker, Wonder Woman killing Maxwell Lord. Like all these bad dark spots in DC Universe, Superman on Earth 2 is saying in their universe, this stuff never happened. So he's wanting to totally replace the universe and set it back to Earth 2 universe. He thinks it'd be easier. So his Lois Lane is laying over here dying, and the Lex Luthor of Earth 2 has told Superman that if he gets Earth 2 to be the prime Earth again, it will bring Lois Lane back to health again. So that's kind of pushing the Superman of Earth 2 more towards where he wants to be. Joker finds out that Luthor and all them has called together a meeting of the villains, and he's very disappointed that he was not asked. That will play a big role in the end. More Batman just brooding. Batman talking to Brother Eye. You see Themyscira is attacked by Omax. They're trying to take down Wonder Woman, so they're attacking all the Amazons that are associated with Wonder Woman. They end up having to flee, and Wonder Woman gets cut off from Themyscira because when they flee, Themyscira disappears and its location changes, and nobody can find it unless you were there. So Wonder Woman's been cut off from Themyscira. Brother Eye is blocking every attempt Batman's doing at trying to shut him down. So Batman's having doubts now because he's watching all these people being killed and attacked for something that he created. So he's approached by none other but Earth 2 Superman, who is trying to recruit Batman to help him since his Batman on Earth 2 was killed. He's wanting to keep this Batman as his friend. So he's trying to be a little manipulative on how much better everything is on Earth 2. There's a lot of action, so we've got to kind of move on through. Basically, Superman and Batman tries to pulling out the kryptonite ring, and it does not work on Earth 2 Superman. There's Luthor confronting the other Luthor, and the other Luthor gets the advantage over the Earth 1 Luthor. So Batman pulls out his kryptonite ring, and this Superman just kind of melts it off and says, okay, well, I see where you stand. You're not with us. So the alternate Lex Luthor, you find out, is Alexander Luthor. So he's been plotting against them the whole time. Superman of Earth 2 doesn't know that he has plotted against them. And he's doing it with the Superboy of Earth 2. He feels like the Superboy of Earth 1 is just wasting his time by not doing anything. So they get into a big fight. So I mean, there's a lot going on in here. They have a big fight in Smallville. This world Superboy pretty much gets his butt beat pretty bad. The Flashes run in. All three of the Flashes run in and grab Superboy and pull him into the Speed Force, which turns around and it traps all the Flashes over there, and it cuts the Flashes off. The one Flash, I think it's Jay Garrett that's left. He can't access the Speed Force. So you've got the other Lex Luthor, the false one, the Earth 2 Lex Luthor, is using the Anti-Monitor's corpse to restart his Earth 2. He took Superman there. Lois is still old. She's still dying. So Superman, when Lois dies, Superman of our Earth hears it all the way on Earth 1 and travels to Earth 2 to comfort this Superman. And this Superman turns around and accuses him of he come to Earth 2 and poisoned everything and kept his Lois from being revived. Of course, as you get into it, Wonder Woman puts the truth lasso on him because she comes to help Superman, and finds out that Superman didn't even have nothing to do with it. It was all the alternate Lex Luthor had died. I mean, had lied about being able to heal Lois, and then he brings all the alternate worlds back together. You've got all these alternate worlds, and he's trying to handpick one that has every great thing in it. The Flash, Wally West comes back, but he's not a kid anymore. Now he's I guess, grown man to a degree. Now the person on the back of the book is Superboy, who's going around calling himself Superboy Prime. He's back from the Speed Force, and he's got all this strong armor and stuff now. You've got more of the Superman and Wonder Woman convincing everybody that Luthor from Earth 2 is basically working behind his back. They all have giant battles with him. Superboy takes on the whole Justice League and beats them. This Earth Superboy jumps in and finally battles him again, which it ends up costing him his life, but he ends up beating him. This Superboy loses his life. So you get all the heroes fighting back against the villains and the alternate worlds. You've got stuff like both Supermen fighting Doomsday, which is very brief, but you've got everybody taking on Superboy taking on the whole Green Lantern squad. And once they take Superboy down, Superman and the Earth 2 Superman sacrifices his life to save this world's Superman from being beat down by Superboy. And it ends with Joker killing the false Lex Luthor just because he didn't invite him to part of the fun. But you find out Superboy is imprisoned by the Green Lanterns. So that's not the end, but it's the end for this. So let me know how you liked it. Comment on if you like this or single issues. So until next time.